Hey everyone, how's it going? So, I see a lot of comments coming through where I feel like people just don't honestly know who Alex Jones is. And as somebody who's been in this area or field, whatever you want to call it, since I was, wow, what, 21? I think the first time I heard about Alex Jones was when I was like 19, maybe 18. It was about like 2011, 2010-ish. And I knew about him through Jesse Ventura because I was a huge Jesse Ventura fan, and I had actually read a few of Jesse Ventura's books, including the one about, what is it, Demo Crips versus Rebloodlikins, essentially like a pun on the Crips and Bloods, the gangs of Los Angeles, California. And I knew about him for a while now, okay? So I seen him on Jesse's show. I tuned into a few of his broadcasts, but I didn't really start actually following him as in like who he was and where he came from, what he did until late 2014, early 2015-ish. And it was like right around the time I would say I started my first channel. But that's besides the point. Guys, people who have years into this and know who he is, know that he is just a grifter, a liar, and he's done this whole prediction thing for years now, and almost all of his predictions come wrong, but then when he gets one correct, it sticks because he'll just promote it over and over again. Everybody say, well, Alex Jones is right. Well, yeah, anybody with half a brain who knows even a little bit about geopolitics can stand back, look at the situation, assess, and make a guess on it, and then guess what? Since he makes so many predictions, one of them's going to stick. Okay? And if you look at this recent claim that he made where he said, oh, there's going to be war in February. He said there's going to be war in February with China. Let's look into it in context, okay? And then he had to, because people confronted him on this, he had to come out on his show, what was it, yesterday or the day before, and say, oh, well, I feel like war with China is also inevitable. I mean, I said there was going to be war in February, and I said it was going to be with China, but I also included Russia in there. See how slick he is and that how underhanded he is? Guys, he's an advanced propagandist. I'm sorry to say that, but if you're in your beginning stages of waking up to what's going on in this world and waking up to how what we were taught when we were younger isn't actually true, you're going to fall for Alex Jones, guys. You're going to fall for him, and it's no fault of your own. It really isn't. And I'm not going to sit here and bash you. But at the end of the day, you are ignorant of who he actually is. And that's not, that's not a bad thing. I'm ignorant of a lot of things, trust me. Now, I just want to just prove to you guys and play a little clip right here so you can see. Alex Jones in 1999 for Y2K, December 31st, came out and said that Vladimir Putin is a demon and he's raging war all over Europe and he's setting off all these nukes and he's doing this and that and he's a demon, he's the IMF puppet, and he's sprouting all this propaganda and all of his profanity all over television, and he's going to wage war on the West, and he's just a communist agent and all this stuff. And isn't it funny how full circle it's come? Now all of a sudden, oh, Putin's not that bad. He was just getting bullied by NATO. Oh, poor Putin was getting bullied by NATO. Guys, you don't even understand the history of communism. You don't even know how bad Russia was to the countries they occupied. They were way worse than the National Socialists. Even if you agree with everything about mainstream history about the National Socialists, the Russians killed more people by far. Look what the Russians did to the Ukrainians in the 1920s and 1930s, before World War II. Look what they did to them. Look what they did to them after World War II. Look at how many people they executed on suspicion of being a National Socialist agent. Or they aided and abetted the Nazis. They have been beat up by Russia for hundreds of years now, okay? Since the Russian Empire even existed. So this idea that, oh, they're just best friends, they're brothers, and, oh, they look at each other and they go, oh, why do we have to fight so much? Because Russia is the reason, guys. Okay? So this idea that, oh, poor Russia's getting beat up by the United States. Guess what? Russia would have did the exact same thing 1,000,000 times worse if they had power and control. Okay? Get that through your head. These guys aren't good. Just because they contradict what our leaders are saying and what our slavers are saying doesn't mean that they're good. So let's play this video just so you can see how Mr. Jonestein used to be back in the day. And then, oh, all of a sudden now, Putin's not that bad. I mean, so let's start this off real fast.
Lights out on the hour. It is the hour of the time. Lights out for the curfew of your body, soul, and mind.
So let me just throw in something real fast. Sorry about that. My mic was muted. For those of you who don't know, a couple people have actually already been on Jones' show and called him out. For example, Wayne Matson is one of the people who called him out. And he said, Alex, listen. Putin is not a good guy. He's a fake Christian. The reason he did that, the reason he converted to the quote-unquote Orthodox Church was just for show. It's just like how how Obama is a Christian, right, guys? Do you really think Obama's a Christian? Really? When he promotes abortion, when he promotes all these anti-Christian values? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a Christian, all right. Putin will literally do anything he can to make himself more popular in Russia. So, of course, he's going to convert to the Orthodox Church. It's just like being a Catholic in the United States. So, let's continue this.
Cash machines are failing in Britain and now other European countries. They're finding large amounts of explosives in France. Vladimir Putin, who is known as Vladimir the Ruthless, and using all his profanity on national TV, you name it. We won't read the profanity here, but we've got it. This person is on an unbelievable power trip and resembles a demon. He is a creature of the IMF and the World Bank and international communism. He is a former KGB head. And this information is vital, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing the New World Order really come out in full force. More wars than have been in the last 50 years are going on right now. The war in Chechnya is raging in Grozny with, reports of hundreds of thousands dying. 20 to 40,000 civilians trapped in the city. Russian Hinds are being shot down. Tanks are being blown to bits. Massive Grad unguided rocket attacks are being launched on the city indiscriminately right now. Air and artillery bombardments as well. It's absolutely out of control. It is pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you the news first on Y2K. The newest developments: a Pennsylvania nuclear plant has been shut down. One of the main systems transferring the power from it failed, but they say it's not a Y2K problem. And the things I'm experiencing here in Austin, Texas: the shelves are empty of water and some gas stations are running out of fuel. Here in Central Texas, and
so did you guys hear that? Right? Vladimir the Demon. Isn't it weird how now Vladimir Putin isn't against the New World Order? Oh, he's pushing back, guys. He's converted into Orthodox Christian. That's literally what Alex Jones relies on, is the fact that he's a Christian. Or because, oh, he went into Syria. Guys, he went into Syria and did nothing. It was a show. Literally. Do you guys not really realize that? Have you not looked into the Syrian situation? What happened in Syria was our basically militias, the militias that the West essentially founded, right? The al-Nusra and all these Syrian rebels, they were armed by us, but they couldn't take out Assad, okay? Now, why do we want Assad gone so bad? Because the Israelis want Assad gone. They have been mortal enemies. Assad and the Israelis have been enemies for years now. And what happened is, Assad was a good little puppet when we invaded Afghanistan and Iraq, and he tortured our quote-unquote ostensible Al-Qaeda terrorists for us, right? So Assad was a good guy during Bush, but then all of a sudden, once the war on terror is dying down, Assad's the bad guy, and we need to take him out. And then we look, and we say, well, who's really the enemy of Assad over there? Well, you got Saudi Arabia, you got Israel, maybe a little bit of Iran. They haven't been as close as people really think they are. Because people tend to forget, when we blew up Iraq for Israel and for international finance, that the Iranians were helping us. They were helping us. They were really excited. They were like, yeah, take Saddam out. Take out our enemy. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Woo. But now all of a sudden, those big bad Iranians. Guys, I have a clip of Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel, saying within an hour after the first tower hit on 9/11, was hit on 9/11 by a plane, ostensibly, right? That we need to invade Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Iran, and North Korea. He listed off all the enemies. How did this guy in Israel know? How did the former prime minister of Israel know? So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of context here of who Jones really is. Because guess what? If any of those predictions he said on Y2K happened, he would be bragging about it to this day. He would be... Remember that one time on Y2K I talked about how the missiles went off? Remember? Oh yeah, of course. Everybody was saying propaganda like this during Y2K. So, if you don't believe me, there's a transcript online of this. And you can check this out too. It's on YouTube. You know, I'm not getting this out of nowhere. There used to be a better clip with better audio. So if it's quiet, I apologize. But you guys get the drill. A lot of you guys are, like I said, educated. I always say this in my videos, and you guys already know this, but this is for the people who just tuned in. I mean, I have to do this for them too, right? Because if they come to me and they hear me talking about the subject and I just go on these long tangents, if they don't even have a foundation to understand what I'm talking about, they're just going to think I'm crazy. They're going to be like, well, why are you supporting, you know, the mainstream media over Alex Jones? That's not what I'm doing, dude. I'm throwing my hands back and I'm saying, dude, Jones is a propagandist, just like the mainstream media. He's just an alt-light version, okay? That's all I'm saying. And all I'm saying is that you need to stop looking for people who are soothsayers, who are these great, you know, wizards or mystics or arbiters of truth. They don't exist, dude. There's people who are very educated and well-spoken in certain subjects, and there's a lot of them, and you need to hear all of them and then come to your own conclusion in every topic. Don't trust one person for all topics, okay? So thank you guys. Take it easy. This is for sure the last video, so thank you.